Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Teacher Fayyadzin Ahmad here. A very good morning to all of you. Hope you're all doing fine. Today's topic is conservation. This is from the chapter 20, the humans and the environment. Today's topic is conservation from page numbers 334 and 335 from your biology reading book, Gareth Williams' New Biology, Nelson Thorne's series. So can you please open the page number 334? So the topic is conservation of forests and wildlife resources. Why do we need to conserve? What is the aim of conservation? The aim of the conservation is to keep the ecosystems stable as the environmental conditions change, and it is important for the benefit of our future generations. We have seen, because of the alarming growth in the human populations, so many consequences are faced. We have seen the need for the building of new projects, building of dams, and also construction of new buildings, and the need for quarrying, and because of the more and more waste being produced by the human population growth, the more dumping of the landfills is taking place, which is again snatching the habitats of the plants and animals. And because of the demand for food, then more of agricultural farms are being developed, for which many forests have been cut, and deforestation process is being taken into consideration. So all these things have led to the threat of extinction to many plant and animal species. To protect the endangered species, to save them from extinction, conservation needs to be done. To maintain biodiversity and protect endangered species, conservation needs to be done. By providing biodiversity, a greater number of different plant and animal species can be provided with natural habitats. Because of the deforestation, the habitats of many plants and animals are lost, and by maintaining the biodiversity, we can provide more and more plant and animal species their natural habitats, and also we can protect the endangered species. We have studied the consequences uh, of the human population growth. The habitats of many species are destroyed due to building, quarrying, dumping, and agriculture. We have seen all these consequences in our earlier sessions. Increasing human populations are creating more demand for food and energy and producing more waste. So all these things are leading to the danger of extinction of many of the plants and animal species. For this reason, conservation needs to be taken into consideration. This is the conservation of plant and animal species needs to be taken into consideration. Endangered species. Deforestation led to the extinction of thousands of rainforest plants that could have provided us with new medicines. Yes, and also thousands of animal species also lost their habitats and also became extinct. So deforestation is one of the reasons for the extinction of thousands of plants and animals. Deforestation led to the extinction of thousands of rainforest plants that could have provided us with new medicines. Yes, this is deforestation. Consequences of deforestation, we can see the habitats of animals being lost, and many plants are also they also became extinct. Many of the medicinally important plants also became extinct, which could have been used nowadays to cure many diseases. So many new medicines could have been produced if these plants would not become extinct. Also, many animals are endangered, like the rock wallaby, wild ox, spectacled bear, and Atlantic walrus are all either extinct or close to extinction. These are endangered species or extinct. American bison and saiga antelope in Russia have been brought back from the brink of extinction. So with the great efforts of the scientists, the biologists, American bison and saiga antelope have been saved from being extinct. This is American bison. It is saved from being extinct. It is brought back from the verge of extinction. Also, this saiga antelope. This is also brought back from the brink of extinction in Russia. These two species, American bison and saiga antelope, have been brought back from the verge of extinction. These are endangered species again: rock wallaby, spectacled bear, and Atlantic walrus. These are endangered species. They're facing the danger of extinction. Either some of them have already become extinct or they are endangered species. And actually, what are the facts? What are the facts uh, behind this danger of extinction? Why the animals and plants are becoming extinct? What are the facts? Let us see some of the facts. Many marine mollusks like cowries, scallops, conch shells, and clams are harvested for food or their shells. For either commercial purposes or for the food purposes, these marine mollusks have been harvested. Let us see the marine mollusks. Yes, these are cowries, these are cone shells, and these are scallops, and these are clams. So these are used for food, and these are for shells also. So because of this trade of marine mollusks, most of the mollusks are facing the danger of extinction, the risk of extinction. So many marine mollusks, such as cowries, scallops, cone shells, and clams, are harvested for food or their shells. And illegal ivory poaching. Ivory products are derived from the elephant tusks. So these products are in great demand all over the world. Hence, ivory poaching is done illegally. Legally, it's banned, but illegal ivory poaching is still continuing. So illegal ivory poaching reduced the elephants to 50% in Kenya and 90% in Uganda in the years 1970s. So because of the illegal ivory poaching, many elephants were hunted and killed, and their population reduced to 50% in Kenya and 90% in Uganda in 1970s. This is a fact. Another fact is because of the great demand of leather products in the world, there is a trade in animal furs and animal skins. So because of the trade in animal furs and animal skins, this has taken toll on wild species. Many wild species are facing the danger of extinction. Either they already became endangered or they are already, most of them already might have become extinct. So because of the trade in furs and animal skins. Another fact is a trade in exotic birds. These are unique birds. Most of them are from foreign origin. So a trade in exotic birds has taken 10 million birds every year from the wild. So a trade in exotic birds takes 10 million birds from the wild each year. These are the elephant tusks. The ivory products are made out of these elephant tusks, and they are in great demand in the world. Because of this fur trade and animal skin, many animals are facing the danger of extinction, and this is because of the great demand of leather products in the world. These are the exotic birds. These are the exotic birds. The trade of such birds is causing them uh, to either become endangered species or to extinct. So many of the countries are now starting programs to save the wildlife, to protect the wildlife. In the year 1973, Indian government was cooperated and collaborated in setting up a program with the help of World Wildlife Fund. So this is an organization. So Operation Tiger is a program set up by the World Wildlife Fund with cooperation of Indian government in 1973, and the aim of this program is to protect the tiger by legislation. The aim is to protect the tiger by legislation. There is a law in protecting them, and also the aim is to conserve the whole environment of these tigers. So the aim of this Operation Tiger is to protect the tiger by legislation and also conserve its whole environment, because the tigers were facing the threat of extinction. They were endangered. So this step has been taken. This program has been set up. And zoos and captive breeding programs. Yes, many zoos, they have this captive breeding programs. The captive breeding programs include the breeding of animals in captivity, building up their numbers, and eventually releasing them back into their natural habitats, back into their wild. So what these captive breeding programs include? They include breeding of animals in captivity. The animals mostly which are endangered. So these animals are brought into captivities, and their breeding is being carried on. The breeding of these animals is done in captivities, and after building up their numbers, after their numbers grow to considerable amount, uh, considerable level, these animals are again released back into their natural habitats, thereby again thereby saving them from extinction. So many zoos in the world they are running this program. So captive breeding program. By this program, many species have been saved from the verge of extinction. The species like Arabian oryx, European bison, and Père David's deer. These are the species which are saved by captive breeding programs. Let us see the species. This is Operation Tiger program, which was set up in 1973 to protect the tigers and its environment. This is the captive breeding program to save the endangered species. These are in captive. Uh, these species, they are now being bred in the captivity, and again after increasing their numbers, they are again released back into the natural habitats. Arabian oryx, it is saved from extinction because with the help of captive breeding program. Arabian oryx, Père David's deer, this was an endangered species. Now because of the captive breeding program, it is now coming back into normal trend. And European bison, also this has been saved from extinction with the help of captive breeding program. European bison, Père David's deer, and Arabian oryx. These are the animal species which are saved from extinction. What about the plants? Yes, many plants are also facing the danger of extinction, and many have already become extinct. Many have already become extinct. Botanic gardens, yes, these collect the plants for the purpose of conservation, research, and education. So they keep collections of plants for conservation, research, and education. There are around 1600 worldwide botanic gardens. There are about 1600 worldwide botanic gardens. These botanic gardens are growing thousands of endangered species. They are growing thousands of endangered species and they are reintroducing them back into their natural habitats, thereby conserving them, thereby saving them from extinction. So the natural vegetation is conserved in this way. So around 1600 worldwide botanic gardens are established and they are growing the thousands of endangered species and releasing them back or reintroducing them back into the wild, and so that the natural vegetations can be conserved. The job of the botanic gardens is to keep collections of plants, especially of the endangered species, for the purpose of conservation, research, and education. Also, we have seed banks all over the world. These are nothing but cold stores of seeds. Cold stores of seeds. Most of these seeds, they are belonging to the endangered species or valuable species, which are valuable species. So, conserved the seed banks, they conserve seed stocks of endangered or valuable species. This is a botanic garden. This is a seed bank. Yes, with the information here, information brochures and the seeds collected on the other side. And this is another seed bank with the seed stocks of endangered species and valuable species. Wildlife protection. By seeing this, by observing the consequences of all these human activities, and by noticing that the wildlife is facing this threat of extinction, many countries have established national parks, and national nature reserves, and sites of special scientific interest, sites of special scientific interest (SSSIs), and also many other such programs have been established. So national parks are huge areas. National parks, they protect large areas of outstanding natural scenery for the benefit of the public. Wildlife actually includes the plants and animals which live in their natural conditions, in their natural habitats, which are not domestic. the plants and animals which are living in their natural habitats, they are all included under wildlife. So to protect the wildlife, national parks are established, and these national parks, they include large areas of outstanding natural sceneries, and this is for the benefit of public. This is all. The national parks are maintained by the governments of the respective countries, and the smaller areas, the smaller areas which and more numerous than the national parks are national nature reserves, NNRs. These are smaller and more in number than the national parks. These are set up to protect biodiversity and native species. To protect biodiversity and native species, national nature reserves are established. And there is another program uh, of identifying the sites where the endangered species are found in abundance, or where there are more animals and plants facing extinction. So these are the sites being identified under this program of SSSIs, sites of special scientific interest. These are identified to conserve the rare and endangered species. So there are three different establishments here: national parks, national nature reserves, and sites of special scientific interest. National parks, they protect the large areas of outstanding natural scenery for the public interest. And national nature reserves, they are smaller and more numerous than the national parks. These are set up to protect biodiversity and native species. And sites of special scientific interest are the areas identified to conserve rare and endangered species. And apart from this, many other schemes are actively participating in this cause of wildlife protection. This is the animal life, wild animals which are taken care of in the Wildlife Protection Acts. This is a national park. National parks are large areas of outstanding sceneries. This is another national park, Glacier National Park. These are smaller areas which are set up to conserve to maintain the biodiversity and also the native species. Yes, these are the NNRs. One example is NNR National Nature Reserve here, which we are seeing here. This is smaller than a national park. The another establishment is the site of special scientific interest. These are the areas identified to conserve the rare and endangered species. Yes. This is a SSSI, site of special scientific interest. So this is the end of the topic today. Hope you understood this topic, and please try to give a reading of this topic. Hope you understood this topic well, and thank you for being with me. I'll get back to you with more topics in my next session. Until then, have a nice time.